Hello, beautiful people. I just wanted to report to everybody that I, Todd Michael Schultz, now have a job. Yes, I I have a job. I know that sounds crazy. I guess anything's possible. But I got a job, and I actually love the job. It's actually like really rewarding and fulfilling, and I'm really looking forward to giving it my everything that I have. I've really given it so many hours. I've really been working nonstop. I think that having a job is good. If you work, then I think that if I need to do to be productive, then that's great. That's great. So it's a very honorable thing. I think so. Uh, I don't think that if you don't have a job, that there's anything wrong with you. Actually, whatever you want to do, you know, that's not my business. Not really. But there's just one thing about this job. Well, I just want to make sure. There's one thing about this job that's a little bit less than ideal. Uh, it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay up front. It could pay off in the end, but there's no guarantee, and it's not. I'm not doing it for the money. But there is a potential remedy. They call it a remedy, or like they call it damages. Usually. So the job I got is I'm suing Michael C. Thompson in civil court. Uh, Here's the official court papers from the Central District of California Office of the Clerk. I don't believe I even need to actually open these because I've already signed up for e-filing, like a good little pro se litigant. And so I think I'm e-filed basically. So I I think that it would probably be better if I didn't even open these. I'm gonna look it up though because that's also another thing I have to do. I have to ask, do I have to open these? Because it's nice to have them sealed and like for my files because everything I submitted online anyways. So, well, that's not true. I also had to give copies to the judge, to the district judge, and I talked to the clerk. I just had to ask him a couple questions, and um, other than that, I've had to go down twice. I filed, there's an amended complaint, and I'm probably gonna have to go down there Monday uh, and file a second amended complaint because I I think I'm missing something in the first amended complaint that makes it sort of like any. It's not finished. I forgot to put because I actually drafted the complaint via the court's instructions. I believe the court allows. Like I read this, and that's why I wrote it in Word. They allow it has to be a PDF file. This is good, so if you're getting sued, you might want to know this stuff. If you're going to submit something to the court, you can submit it in a searchable PDF file. Like you have to be able to search by word in a PDF file, but you can make it in Word, and then you can just export its PDF, and then also you can I just drafted it like almost like a straight up paper. I think I had to declare probably like plaintiff and defendant at the top. I honestly I need to clean it up, but I actually knew that I didn't finish the complaint correctly. I was just exhausted. Like I was mentally and exhausted, and I believed that I believe that there's an urgency to this case that like means that it should be resolved as soon as possible. And because of an issue I had with a motion that I filed, um, I felt that I needed to get something better than what I need to get an amended complaint in uh, with easier to follow at least, and have more evidence. I need to put it in there. And so, but I knew that I hadn't fully fit. Like I knew that it could have been more exhaustive. You can do up to about 20 pages, I believe it is. I think is it maybe even 10, 20, or 20. I think it's 10 or 20. Uh, and it has to be in make sure the font is it Helvetica? No, no, I think it's what it is actually. It's not Times New Roman. I'll tell you that. Oh yeah, here it is, right here. Oh yeah, oh, here it is. The First Amendment complaint, right here on Word. But I didn't send the Word file to the court. Huh, thank God. I think this is actually a First Amendment complaint, even if I don't, which I will because I respect the judge and I respect the court and I respect the process and I respect it enough to that if I'm going to file, I'm going to do everything right. And so, but I think it's really well written, really clear. Uh, I believe it will be publicly available at some point in the very near future. Uh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I can share whatever I want. I believe as a plaintiff, I actually have the right to speak about my case to anybody that I choose. Now, if I was being defamatory, I would also be open to litigation. So I decided that I wasn't going to be defamatory in discussing my case. I was just going to be, honest and forthright, like I usually am. And this is actually part of my legal strategy is these live streams, um, because I believe that there's a clear record that Michael Thompson has seen every single one of these, and I think that the judge will easily be able to see that that is the case. He may be able to, if he has a even half competent lawyer, he will be maybe able to, on procedural technicalities, be able to convince the judge that it doesn't matter if I live streamed. There's no proof that Michael Thompson saw, but there is in fact evidence to prove that he has seen these because he's engaged in the live chat, kind of like unobstructed in his regular form. So it's pretty obvious, I think, and I think that if I write it like that, the court will see. And I think that I also believe that the ultimate good faith uh, is telling the truth. Ultimate good faith thing you can do in any situation is tell the truth. Jordan Peterson once said, "If you want a real adventure, tell the truth when anyone asks you anything." And while I don't agree you should always be telling the truth in terms of like, you don't want to insult people. You want to like learn how to be measured, and you also don't need to be telling every truth to every person. That's something I need to learn. But mostly, I think it's a good thing to tell the truth. I've actually always been uh, serially honest, you know, pathologically honest, and that's not always to my benefit, and that's why I have to meditate every day so that I can have stillness in my mind at sometimes. I bit, a little bit. But also, also like these, I've always used these live streams actually as a way to do good things and to be a better person, like play music, perform, do it, do it, be my best. Also, sometimes it just gives me the motivation to do anything. If I'm on stream, I better play. If I don't feel like it, or I better, or if I'm lonely, I can hopefully go talk to people that don't want to terrorize and stop me and make me homeless. Hopefully, I honestly, I guess it's yet to be adjudicated that it. Well, actually, I bet I could. I don't know. I think I could find case law that if you wanted somebody homeless and you had like said as much and then executed uh, orders and also done like plans and fake aliases and coordinated with people and Facebook groups that you're not even a part of. If you coordinated with a bunch of people, if you contacted if you ever talked to like the property manager of a building that someone lived at, or like if you ever emailed them like a clip, if you ever emailed them anything, it would be some evidence. But if you conspired with anybody, it's kind of, like, so, the thing about the civil trial that's so great is that I get to subpoena evidence, and there's going to be, and there's a discovery. And if Michael Thompson is watching this, Michael C. Thompson, in the good spirit of the court, which is, it ought mostly be a transparent procedure, I'm subpoenaing every conversation you have ever had about me that is on your hard drive. So don't delete any of it. Don't delete any of it. I promise you, if you delete any of it, and I have a very good memory. I have a very, very good memory. Now, I don't know if people know that about me, but I have an extremely good memory. I remember quotes from like 2 years ago, from aliases. Like, I just, they stick out in your mind. And if there seems to be any kind of preponderance of omissions, then I'm going to inform the judge immediately that you're being dishonest with the court. Honestly, be careful when you write your complaint that you don't lie, because I'll prove it if you lie. Because Michael C. Thompson, there is so much evidence against you. I don't see any way you can even get past the complaint stage without, frankly, being referred to the criminal justice system. And that's my true opinion. And I wouldn't be shocked if that happened within the next week. But before it happens, if it does, now that's not a threat, that's the judge's choice. It is the judge's decision whether that happens. And it is not actually a civil matter as to whether or not you will be criminally charged. And thus, all I can do is, in good faith, urge the court, like you would tell a police officer maybe, that this is what's going on and this is what I think is going on. And just look here and you'll be able to easily see that this is the case, et cetera, et cetera. And you don't get 50 back and forth with the judge, okay? And if you get your case dismissed, you can file again. But if you keep filing and you keep fucking with the judge, excuse my language, and you keep on lying or just having things that don't have any evidence, or you just continue to do the forms wrong, or you continue to not write an efficient complaint. I mean, you have the right to a lawyer. There are legal services. You have to at least get yourself together enough. In civil court, they don't want people that don't know that much, at least, suing, I suppose. And that's not totally unfair, but it is a little unfair. And people that tell the truth should be given precedent, as they say in court. But the matter is, the fact of the matter is, uh, everything that I've said is true, and and also, on behalf of myself, I just want to ask anybody who happens to be watching this right now, if you ever were in one of those bully sessions against me, well, I was like begging, or when I was like going back and forth, and honestly, that includes people like Robin Eaglesong and Maggie, grandmas, both of them actually, both of them participated in these bizarre gang stalking events, and they're not all flawed. They're not 100% flawed, but I know they both participated in it. I remember Maggie telling me about her lawyer, her solicitor, she said, and her family. And it was funny because she simply like this. Look, Maggie, you knew what was happening. There's not a chance that a woman of your age and looks reasonable, you're of reasonable, sound mind and intelligence. There's not a chance that you didn't know what was happening. That it was in fact a bully session. And if you didn't know that, and you just got caught up on it, got caught up in Mr. Thompson's efforts, then I would actually really appreciate an email saying that. Uh, and what I'm getting at is, if you say anything shitty to me, I'm I plan on subpoenaing every YouTube live stream that I did. I know that that might take some effort, but I guarantee there will be a filing to have every alias unmasked, IP addresses, everything, because of the preponderance of evidence that is almost insistent upon a conspiracy of efforts to inflict emotional distress and to me, my emotional well-being and my reputation. Because of all of those things, I believe that the court, in good faith with the pro se litigant, really would do itself a justice by allowing such a thing happen without too much litigation. I don't want to go back and forth with YouTube a bunch. If I can do it, I would like it to happen in one motion. I don't want to go back and forth with YouTube in any technicalities. Okay? I want the aliases. I want the information as such. And I want every single comment that is in there that is possibly stored in the Google system. I want it unmasked, and I want the IP addresses, and I want to know who said what, so that we can determine the extent of a conspiracy or not. And then, in good faith, you litigate. You bring it to the light, and you say, "What happened?" Okay, well, if there's nothing, no one did anything that bad. No one's getting in that much trouble. It's as simple as that, folks. And I got a new piano. And so, look, I suspect people that I'm friends with uh, entered nasty things into the chat, especially when I was in the hotel. When I was at that old hotel, by the look of things weren't going well. I see the writings on the wall. I'm pacing through the empty hall. I didn't do much of that because there really wasn't anything in the halls. I guess they were empty. Uh, and then I checked out of that old hotel and I went to rehab. Right? That was not too fun. It wasn't so bad, but it wasn't so good. Uh, what I'm saying is, email me, text me, and tell me what you did, and apologize if you did, and I might forgive you. I mean, look, I'm not perfect. I have a hard time forgiving my parents and my brothers and sisters. My sister, sorry, my brothers and sister. So, if it was really mean and you did it a lot, I might be a little bit more angry. But honestly, but I might not. But I might not. If you just tell me the truth, if you just send me an email and say, this is what I said, I admit it. I thought you were a fuckface. Like that's not gang stalking. That's just like whatever. That's just like schoolyard bullying. Uh, but I would need that in like an email, especially if you're likely to be like subpoenaed or named. Keep the light on. If you're likely to be named, I would highly recommend it that you do that. That you email me and tell me exactly what you said, when you said it, and how often you said it. And then I will consider telling the judge that person, it depends, but you're highly more likely to not be under your litigation yourself if you potentially participated and if you did it right, if you're sorry, right? It's like that's mediation. That's good. That's a mediation. We're getting closer to a deal, you know. So honestly, I don't know. I don't know who watches these things that doesn't, tell me their name. But like I said, um, I will put my email in the live chat. Positive momentum with Todd at gmail.com is one of my emails. Um, I have it because I want to create a YouTube channel. You have to have a Gmail account. It's kind of a lot, isn't it? So YouTube, I don't know if YouTube watches this stuff or not. Uh, it would really. And another thing, YouTube, because you're such a large company, and because I've emailed your legal department at least twice in the past week, and because this is your platform, and it's reasonable to assume that you might see this or know about this because it's happening on your platform, and I'm calling your platform out. It might be good for your legal department to be forthcoming at this juncture in communicating with me directly, because your company is so large that it's unreasonable for me to feel safe without hearing directly back. It is exactly the opposite of feeling safe. And the reason I guess I never felt safe is because YouTube never did anything about this whole situation where most of it happened. And if they would have, it may have stopped and there wouldn't be civil litigation in a US district court. This is not reserved for schoolyard fights. That's reserved for criminals, civil infractioners. As I'm not sure what the legal term is, but whatever. It's not the way that we have to adjudicate every situation, so to speak. Now that's really, I mean, that's mostly it, I guess, for the updates in the case and my job that I got. I got a new job. I'm a pro se litigant in a civil trial representing, me, pro se. Um, and I yeah, I'm not too happy, but I'm not too sad. Put it that way. If somebody did something really bad, I'll sue them, and that's it. And I can do it myself, and I'll do it in good faith, and I will do my very best to please the judge and the court, and magistrate judge as well, both of them, the district and magistrate. And if anybody plans on uh, questioning my character or trying to impugn me and say that I'm an alcoholic or I'm an addict and I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to ask the judge to strike that from the record to prevent that information from even being used in the trial. Because It's irrelevant whether or not I'm an addict. The question of the court of the case is not whether or not I'm an addict. It's not whether or not I use drugs. It's not. It's not that. It's not any of that. Using drugs in and of itself is actually a moot point. Neutral means nothing. Behavior can be admitted. But in the spirit of a fair trial, I would ask that the judge consider preventing the jury, should there be a jury, look at the fact that I've used drugs ever, because it is a cause for suspicion of bias. Because people have a bias against drug users because of people like Mr. Thompson, mind you. People have a bias, and they think that they can just gaslight them and say, "You're a drug user. Sorry, I don't have to listen to you." So I will obviously make that way more clear in court. And honestly, I really dude, I didn't even plan any of these tactics, the strategy that I just showed, but I fucking killed it. Like, seriously, that's some good shit. That's a really great legal strategy that I've mounted. I am mounting one of the best legal strategies. You really wouldn't get as good a legal strategy from any lawyer, I swear. Not a chance. All I need is my printer, scanner, and me, and an Uber so I can get to the court. God, I really don't like. I don't like being angry. I don't like the stress of this at all. And I have no choice. I have no choice. It's not funny either. It's like it's really like not. I'm standing up for myself, but it's not fun. It's fun because it's fun to be vindicated, but it's not fun because it's a lot of stress and it's a lot of responsibility. You tell me what's going on. I don't know. What do you know? I mean, what like where should I start? What do you know and what don't you know? Oh, well, I mean, it's odd that your name is Michael, but like I said, I mean, like this is that's why that's actually a perfect example of why I would need YouTube to be forthcoming in unmasking, and it can be sealed, but I need to see it. The court is going to need to see who is who, and there is ways to determine that are not that no one that easily the I mean, I guess I have to ask the judge. So hopefully the judge will. If you want to, you can restart from the top. I've already said my piece on that stuff, so I'm gonna do music now and stuff. Okay. Oh, now this is. Uh-huh.